I get a lot of questions in the comment threads for these videos, which I really appreciate. I love the input from you guys. I love the questions. I love to go back and forth. But something I get asked more than anything is about the long range versus the standard range plus. And more importantly, do I regret my decision? It's been almost 1 year since I went to the Costa Mesa Delivery Center here in Southern California and picked up my Model 3 Standard Range Plus. I love the car, best car I've ever owned. I've talked about how much I love the Standard Range Plus, all that stuff. You know, you guys know that. But I often think about, you know, if it was a mistake, should I have paid the extra money to get the long range? Would I have been happier? Would I have had a better car experience, a better Tesla experience? Do I regret the car I have now, or am I happy with what I have? And it's been a year of reflection. It's been a year to kind of know the car and to, you know, learn about what it's like to own a Tesla and kind of see the strengths and weaknesses to the Standard Range Plus. And I guess it's time to answer the question. Did I make a mistake? Do I think that I should have gone to the long range? And I'm not gonna make you weigh out the video to know the answer. The answer is no, I'm happy with what I have, and here's why I still think today I'd buy the same car again. So initially, one of the biggest differences between the two cars is the battery capacity and the range. And that's something you have to kind of keep in mind when going electric and buying a Tesla especially, is going from a gas-powered car to an electric car, range is a really big deal. And I'm planning a video soon that kind of talks about the 240 miles of range with the Standard Range Plus. Is it enough? Should you get more? All that stuff. But the bottom line, I'll save the explanation for the longer video, but the condensed version is 240 miles of range is not as much as you would think it'd be. Just as an example, my parents live about 75 miles away from where I am right now. So to go see them is about 160 mile round trip journey. And the Standard Range Plus can not do that drive. I need to stop and charge at a charge point. I need to do a supercharger. Even though it seems on paper like, hey, I could totally do that drive. It's 150 miles. I have 240, I'm good. Just with speed fluctuations and driving conditions and elevation and all that stuff, it's not a drive you can do. You're gonna have to kind of modify it a little bit. And that's obviously gonna be depending on where you're going and speed and stuff like that. So this is not the use case for everybody, but just to kind of, again, keep it short and sweet, 240 miles of range is not as much as I thought it would be originally, but after having the car for almost a year, there are very, very, very few instances that I really needed more range than 240 miles of range was able to get me. For just doing tasks like going to work and doing typical errands and, you know, some short road trips on the weekend, 240 miles of range has been plenty, and that has certainly not been a deal breaker, though that's probably one of the biggest things I'd like to reconsider if I had the opportunity to change my decision. Though I will say if I had to do the decision again, I would not get the long range just for the extra battery capacity. 240 miles of range has been okay for me and my driving habits. There also are some differences with performance and speed and 0 to 60 time and stuff like that. And I will kind of say clearly that that is not a huge deal for me. I'm not a performance car guy. I'm not a speed demon. I'm not, you know, any kind of person like that. So that's not a big deal to me. But I will say if you're looking to take advantage of the instant torque and you want kind of the peppiness and all the benefits of an electric car, the Standard Range Plus is by no means a slow car, but it is not as fast off the line as a long range or performance Tesla Model 3 or a Model S or Y or whatever it is. The Standard Range Plus is just not as fast. That's not a big deal to me. I'm not looking to get, you know, that push yourself back in the seat, you know, instant torque that the long range would have. You could still get some of that in the Standard Range Plus, but it's certainly not as apparent as it is in those cars. Probably one of the biggest things now that I would keep in mind and probably would sway my decision a little bit more to the long range car is the premium features. So the biggest thing for me is the audio system. I've talked about it before. You know, the Standard Range Plus, you're missing some subwoofers, you're missing one subwoofer, you're missing a couple of amplifiers, stuff like that. All the speakers aren't working. It's not a huge deal to me because I'm not an audiophile, but after having been in cars, the long range and performance Model 3s that have the full premium audio, it is an experience unlike no other, and it does sound audibly better. Even to me, someone who's not an audiophile, I can clearly tell the difference between the premium audio experience in those cars and what you're getting with the lower end Teslas. So it's not enough to push me to spend the extra money to get that car, or I wouldn't reconsider and go that way if I had the chance to do it over again, but I do wish I had a better audio experience. It's something I do regret on the Standard Range Plus. I wish that Tesla would give me the option to pay to unlock some of these features, even though you're physically missing hardware, so it's not gonna do you a lot of good. But I do wish the audio system was better in the Standard Range Plus, and I do really like that feature on the long range. So with the audio system and the range aside, there isn't a whole lot else that the long range car has going for it. Those are some really big draws on their own. I think range is probably gonna be the biggest thing for many people, followed by the audio experience. But besides that, these cars, again, are extremely similar, and you're getting all the Tesla staples and the Tesla creature comforts in the Standard Range Plus as well, which I have certainly very much enjoyed. I also love autopilot. It's standard. Having all that hardware built in is great. I use it all the time. That wouldn't really change with the long range. Funny enough, something that did change since I first got the car a year ago is the paint color. So I think I paid $1,500 extra for the pearl white multi-coat paint that looked really cool, and black was standard. I wanted something a little bit different. I really like the way the white looks, and shortly after I got the car, that became standard. So if I could go back and do it over again, I'd either go for the free white paint and save myself $1,500, or if I'm going to pay extra for paint, I'd probably just splurge a little more and go with the red, and then have the best of both worlds, I guess. The white's cool, I love that, but I don't think it was exactly worth the extra price, especially now when you can get it for free. I'd definitely do that. I'd get it for free and not even worry about it. And of course, we got to talk about the brass tacks, the $9,000 price difference. This is probably the biggest thing for me. I love what the long range offers. Obviously, I'd love to have more range. I would love a better audio experience. I'd love a faster 0 to 60 time and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, for me, the differences between the Standard Range Plus and the long range just are not worth $9,000. And I know I'm probably in the minority here. Many people have the long range and the performance variants. They love them. And if that's the car you have or the car you want, that's great. I think it's a great car, and I think you should definitely pursue that car. But for me, in my use case, the lack of range has not been an issue. 240 miles of range is good enough. The audio system is good enough. Some of the little features you miss are not a big deal. For me, the good enough is worth $9,000 of difference, and if I had to make the choice all over again, I would still choose the Standard Range Plus because I love the car. I still think it's the best car that Tesla offers. You certainly get the most for your money, and I think it's just an amazing car, an amazing value, and I'm certainly happy with the car. And if I had to go do the whole thing over again, I wouldn't change a thing. I'd get the Standard Range Plus again over the long range and save the money and go with that car. So what do you guys think? Standard Range Plus versus long range. Is the price worth the extra $9,000 to get those extra features? I know for many people, it's gonna be worth it alone just for the extra range, but is the audio system enough to sway you one way or the other? Do you really love those rear heated seats? Do you want the free year of premium connectivity? What do you guys think? Leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, I'm gonna have a full video coming soon about the range in the Standard Range Plus. Is 240 enough? Kinda not, but I'll get into that in another video. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It really does help. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.